Alright, what's going on everyone out there on YouTube? NES Ruler. Welcome to a brand new DVD and Blu-ray update. It's been quite a while since my last update. It's actually been too long. Got a boatload of stuff here to show you guys. It's probably going to be a long update. Probably going to have to make an edit at the 20-minute mark, because my camera only allows you to shoot 20 minutes of footage, so I apologize for that. But let's get started. A lot of this stuff I have reviews posted, or reviews that are going to be posted, or going to show up on the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast, so I'm just going to skip those. I'll still show them to you guys. But first off, this is a very cool release. I was lucky enough to get one of these. This edition is limited to 50 copies. There was another edition that was quite expensive that was limited to 200. But I was able to get one of the 50 copy editions. And that is the Nightbreed The Cabal Cut. Yeah, this was actually like 50 bucks, but there's only 50 copies of this. I'm very excited to have this super limited edition release directly from Clive Barker himself. So this is very cool. I actually saw this back in like 2012 when they were touring it across the country. I think they only did like 4 dates, and 2 of them were here in Chicago. So luckily I had a chance to see this already. But this is very cool that this is finally coming out. Like I said, they only were able to make 250 copies of this. It's something with Morgan Creek, but really just a straight up release, you know. There's the disc. It's a press disc, so very cool. Nightbreed The Cabal Cut finally makes a release on physical media. Very happy to have this. I'm just keeping it in the sleeve because as I drop it, because it is such an limited release that I really don't want to fuck it up. So it goes up there with all the other rare goodies that I have. So that is very cool. Extremely lucky to grab one of those. I'm very happy to have it in the collection. So thank you to Clive Barker and everybody from Occupy Median for making that happen. So let's get into these Blu-rays. Sorority Row. If you guys want to listen to my thoughts on this one, listen to the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. Can't remember what episode it was, but we did a show remake first original, so listen to that. Sorority Row. It's a okay movie. I had a good time with that. Beyond the Darkness from Severin. We have Umbrella sent me this, but Death Wish 1 was out of print on Blu-ray for so long from Warner Brothers that, no, Paramount, maybe it was Paramount, that it was really hard to get. Now that the new movie's coming out, they're re-releasing it, so when that comes out, I'll pick it up and I'm going to do a franchise review of the Death Wish series. This is the Umbrella edition, which comes with Part 2 uncut. And it comes with the theatrical cut, the TV cut, and the Greek VHS cut, which all has different footage in it. And Death Wish 3, which I already have the old MGM release, but I mainly asked for this because I wanted to see Death Wish 2 uncut. So when the first part gets re-released, I will be doing a franchise review of that, so stay tuned for that. I love Death Wish 3, that movie's so fun. Zodiac Killer. Review coming for this soon. I already have it recorded, just gotta post it. From MPI, Something Weird Video. Nice edition here. DVD Blu-ray, and it comes with this nice thick booklet, so stay tuned to that. It's coming soon. We have Phenomena. Moodz sent me this. If you guys watch my unboxing, this is the Arrow Special Edition. Very cool for Moodz to send me that. Not the easiest thing to find, so got that. The Fox with a Velvet Tail and Spider from Mondo Macabro. I'll talk about these on the podcast in the future. Southern Comfort from Shout Factory. If you guys haven't listened to this episode of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast, make sure you listen to it. We paired this up with Deliverance, so stay tuned for that. Very cool. Deliverance is a masterpiece. Southern Comfort, it's a fun film. It has its issues, but it's still a fun movie that you could have a good time with if you allow yourself to. Has some problems, but very cool film from Shout Factory. And Deliverance, just a regular edition. So if you want to hear myself, Moodz, JP's, and Derek's complete thoughts on these films, almost dropped it, listen to the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. Phenomena. This is the Synapse edition. The Creep Behind the Camera, also from Synapse. I will have a review of this one coming up soon as well. Amsterdam. Now, I unfortunately got the disc of this film that was uncompressed and looked really, really shitty. Blue Underground has talked about it with this release, that they've had a problem with the edition. From what I heard, that they're sending out new discs to reviewers, so when I get that, I heard it's coming with the Lift and the other two Dick Mass films. I will do a lengthy review on this release because I don't want to give it an injustice because I got a shitty disc. So when that comes, I'll talk about this one, but that is one reason why you haven't seen a review for this film yet, because I have just been waiting for that new disc to come in the mail. We have The Stranger. This is a Orson Welles directed film. Really interesting film noir. You know what you're going to get with Orson Welles. This is from 1946, so it's in the middle of his run of films. You know what you're going to get with a Orson Welles noir. This is from Olive. Really good release from Olive. It comes with this nice booklet. And this isn't like an Olive Select, this is a straight up Olive, so it's nice to see Olive bring some good film noirs to Blu-ray. Is it as good as Touch of Evil? No, but it's still a good film. It Stains the Sand Red. I did a review on this one on the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. The film is fun. It has its problems in the third act, but it's an interesting film, so check it out. Listen to my review on the podcast if you guys want to hear my thoughts on this one. It's an interesting movie for sure. The Other World, I talked about this one on the podcast as well. Very strange Richard Stanley documentary. It's very hard to follow at some points, but it's an interesting film. The cinematography is just absolutely beautiful. So listen to my review on this one on the podcast. From Severin again. You're going to always get quality from them. We have Bassketball. Finally made it on Blu-ray. This was a Best Buy exclusive. It's quite hard to get when it first came out, but now you can find it everywhere. But not the best transfer. I've actually watched this because I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's okay. It has its problems. Some of the jokes are still hilarious, but it's Trey Parker, Matt Stone's not greatest work. Even they say that they're embarrassed by this film, but very finally happy to have this on Blu-ray. So Bassketball. We have Lifeboat, Alfred Hitchcock's, my favorite Hitchcock film from 1944. Just a fantastic contained thriller about people that are stuck on a lifeboat in the middle of the fucking ocean. It's so good. An amazing character piece. If you guys haven't seen Lifeboat, pick this up from Kino. This is like the Kino Classics line. This movie is so damn good. Hitchcock's best in my opinion. It's an amazing, amazing film. So if you guys haven't seen Lifeboat, highly recommend it. We have Problem Child, another one of these Best Buy exclusive Blu-rays. I've always liked this film. It's fun. It's 90s cheese. You know what you're going to get. Rawhead Rex came out today, actually. This is the new Blu-ray. Finally got a re-release. One of the more sought-after DVDs that everybody wanted. Finally getting a re-release from Kino. And this pretty nice slipcase edition. I refers to cover art because that is what Rawhead Rex is all about. That's the artwork that everybody remembers from the old DVD. Has a pretty semi-nice booklet and the usual Kino Classics artwork. But Rawhead Rex finally getting a release. Everybody could shut up about it now. Don't have to hear about it. Popcorn, that's coming up on the podcast soon. Next episode, actually. So stay tuned to that. The Devil's Honey, I'm going to wait till Italian month to review this one. That's why I haven't reviewed it. I've just been waiting for the month of November to show up so I could talk about this one on Italian month on the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror. So stay tuned till November for this one. It's coming. Cult of Chucky. Yeah. We just did that franchise, the Child's Play franchise, and the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast, episode 116. It's the most recent episode, so listen to that if you want to hear my thoughts on this film. It's a fun film. It has its problems, sure, but it's a fun, different Child's Play film, that's for sure. We dig deep into this one, so head over to the podcast, give it a listen if you guys want to hear more on that. Oh, Blu-ray DVD combo. The Lure from Criterion, did a review on this one 2 videos ago. Listen to my thoughts. This film is so fucking good. An amazing, amazing horror musical from Poland. I highly, highly, highly recommend you pick up this film. It is so fucking good. One of my highest recommendations. It's amazing, amazing, amazing stuff here. So, The Lure. I think the main actress in this film was just in The Survivalist. I think that's the name of it. That's that new IFC film from what I was reading. I know that she's in that film. The Poughkeepsie Tapes from Scream Factory finally got a release. You know, I remember this film from back in the day, in the MySpace days. It was up there. You know, it's okay. It's alright. You know, does it live up to the hype? No. Does it have some creepy ass shit going on? Sure. But, you know, it is what it is. It's cool that it's finally had a release, that, you know, people could finally watch it. It's not as good as, you know, as I was hoping, but still cool to have it. The transfer is really good from Scream Factory, so that is very cool. So the Poughkeepsie Tapes finally gets a release. The Old Dark House. Talked about this one in my last video, so check it out. Awesome Universal horror film from Mr. James Whale, so check out my review of this one. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic transfer from Cohen. Comes with this nice booklet. If you want to listen to my full thoughts on this one, listen to my last review. Let's get into these DVDs now. Hell's Highway, the true story of highway safety films from Kino. This is from 2003. A film that I've been actually wanting to check out for a while, just haven't really found it for a good price. One popped up for $8, shipped on eBay. Totally had to hop on that shit. This thing is crazy. If you guys haven't seen this, check it out. Fantastic documentary about a time in history that would never be made today. Just videos of car crashes and people's bodies, and it's fucked up what they were showing, but it's a fantastically fun documentary. So, Hell's Highway, check that out. Beyond the Seventh Door, I just reviewed this one on the podcast, the episode that's coming out this week, so stay tuned to that. Awesome Canadian exploitation film from 1987. Surprised the hell out of me. I had a fun fucking time with this one, so stay tuned to my review on that one. Raw, grabbed this from Family Video, $5. Just an amazing film, top 10 quality for sure. I didn't get as much of it out of it as JP, but I still had a really good time with this one. Dracula in Vegas from Olive. One of the worst films I've ever seen from 1999. Shot on studio. Absolutely horrendously bad. I reviewed this one on the podcast, so listen to my thoughts on this one, even though you shouldn't because the film fucking sucks. Oh, it's a rough one. It's bad. Bad, bad, bad. The Devil's Candy. IFC Midnight. I saw this film in 2015 when it was on the festival circuit. Absolutely fell in love with it. This movie is fucking awesome. I loved it. Devil's Candy. So good. Bug. I actually wanted to see this. I haven't seen it in a while. Came across a copy for like $1 or $2, so I wanted to grab it. movie that I wanted to watch again. It bombed at the box office, so wanted to check that out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation and Texas Chainsaw 3. We did these on the podcast as well, the Texas Chainsaw franchise. Listen to my thoughts on this one. These two films are not very good. Well, Texas Chainsaw 3 is not very good. Part 4 is shit, but everybody already knows that. So listen to the podcast for those. $1.50 pickups from Family Video. I think it's all of these. So just gonna grab the stack. These were all cheap, so I'm just gonna fly through them. The Lesson, Fear Inc., which actually has the guy from The Sandlot, which is funny. He hasn't changed. He looks exactly the fucking same. Makes me laugh. Haven't seen him in a movie in a while. Tank 432 from IFC Midnight. Have to finally have that. Stray Bullets. This movie's like made by like a 16-year-old kid, so that automatically sparked my interest. Seems pretty cool. It's from Screen Media. We Go On. It's a movie I haven't heard anybody talking about, but for $1.50, it sounded cool. Rube Mork has a review on the back of it. So XX. Heard nothing but horrible things about this film. Woman Anthology. I've heard nothing but shitty things about it. So, but I wanted it. You know, it's $1.50. What do I have to lose? The Evil Within. This is a film that Moodz actually reviewed on the podcast. This film has a crazy history. The director was fucking mental. He took like 15 years to make this movie. He ultimately died before it was able to get released, but he spent his heart and soul into this film, so it's cool to actually see it at Family Video. I was surprised that they had it. So $1.50. I might make it under the 20-minute mark here. Here Alone. Jason Lloyd talked about this film. This is supposed to be a film similar to It Comes at Night. He says it's actually the better film, so happy to have that. And finally, Strip Nude for Your Killer from Andrea Bianchi. This was my pick for Director's Spotlight in this year's Italian Horror Month, so $3 for that. Very cool. So stay tuned to hear my thoughts on this on the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. So that's coming soon. Andrea Bianchi, Director Spotlight. Somebody different for once, not your usual Argento Fulci. So stay tuned for that. So thank you everybody for watching this DVD and Blu-ray update. I appreciate it. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/NESRuler22. So as you can follow me on Letterboxd now. If you guys haven't been on Letterboxd, cool place where you can track my ratings of all these films. If you guys want to listen to my thoughts before I post them on the show, just search my profile, NESRuler22. I have like all my films on there from the podcast and everything that I've watched past then. And of course, listen to the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast, 22shotsofmoodsandhorror.com. Thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon with another review or something. So I'll see you guys soon. See you guys.